There was a creature so unfairly built, even a T-Rex couldn't deal with it. Not because it was stronger, not because it was faster, but because the moment things got dangerous, it could just leave, not run, not hide, fly. And the worst part, this thing had no right to be able to fly at all. Imagine this. You're standing in the late Cretaceous. The air is, the ground is cracked. Everything feels still, too still. You expect danger to come from the front, maybe something charging through the dust, maybe the ground shaking beneath your feet. But then, the light disappears. A shadow passes over you. You look up, and your brain refuses to process what you're seeing because it doesn't make sense. It looks like a giraffe, long neck, long legs, towering height. But then it spreads its wings, massive, unnatural, wider than a city bus. This is Quetzalcoatlus, also known as the flying giraffe. And this isn't just a nickname. Some scientists believe this thing could hunt animals the size of a small dog and swallow them whole. No tearing, no struggle, just gone. And once you understand why it is called as the flying giraffe, you'll realize this might be one of the most overpowered predators to ever exist. Let's break that name for a second. Flying giraffe. It sounds ridiculous, but look at the design. On the ground, this thing stood as tall as a giraffe, not crouched, not low like a predator, fully upright. That height alone meant one thing: it saw you, long before you ever saw it. Its neck wasn't just long, it was a weapon platform, a striking range most animals couldn't even react to. Now add wings, 10 to 11 meters across. That's not a bird, that's a living aircraft. Here's where it gets insane. Most people imagine flying creatures as fragile, light, delicate, easy to overpower on land. This wasn't. This thing weighed over 200 kilograms. That's heavier than most humans. Now pause and think about that. A 200-kilogram animal with a giraffe-like body that can fly. That shouldn't exist. That's biology pushed to its absolute limit. In fact, if you made it just a little heavier, flight wouldn't be possible at all, meaning this creature was operating right at the edge of what physics allows. And here's the twist nobody expects. This wasn't a sky hunter. It didn't live like an eagle. It didn't dive into oceans like a seabird. This thing lived on the ground, walked, hunted, stalked, like a land predator. Picture this. You're alone in open terrain, no trees, no cover, just heat and silence. Then you see it, far away, walking, not running, not rushing, walking, slow, controlled, watching you, and something feels wrong. Because predators chase, this one doesn't. You take a step back, and that's when it happens. And for a split second, everything goes completely silent. The neck snaps forward, violent, precise, faster than something that size should move. The beak hits before your brain even registers danger. No roar, no warning, just impact. And then, nothing. Because this creature didn't need to tear you apart. It didn't need to wrestle. If you were small enough, it could swallow you whole, and it likely didn't just hunt tiny animals. Some researchers believe it may have targeted baby dinosaurs, the ones that couldn't run fast enough, which means even in a world of giants, nothing was truly safe. Clean, efficient, final. Now here's where it becomes unfair. Put this creature in the same world as a T-Rex. You'd expect conflict, right? Two giants, two predators. But here's the reality. They didn't compete because one of them didn't have to. Think about that for a second. One of the most powerful predators in history, and it couldn't even force this thing into a fight. Imagine a T-Rex notices it, starts moving closer, heavy steps, power, dominance. Any other predator would panic, run, hide, fight. Not this one. It doesn't react. It waits, calculates, and then it launches. Not like a bird struggling to take off, not flapping wildly. No, this was something else. It used all four limbs. Front limbs push, hind limbs explode. Wings deploy instantly, like a compressed spring releasing. In one motion, it throws its entire body into the air, faster than most predators could even react. By the time something realized what was happening, it was already out of reach. That's the part that changes everything. No matter how powerful something is on land, it can't touch you if you can leave the battlefield at any moment without warning. Now think bigger. Once it's airborne, it's not just escaping, it's choosing where to go, where to hunt, what to avoid. It can travel massive distances, scan entire landscapes, and pick targets with zero risk. That's not survival, that's control. And just when you think this creature is already broken, there's more. Because flight at this size shouldn't work. Physics doesn't like it. Large bodies need massive energy. Takeoff should be slow, clumsy, dangerous. But this thing solved that problem perfectly. Scientists looked at this thing and basically said, this shouldn't work. But the deeper they studied it, the more it looked like something engineered for one purpose: perfect escape. Lightweight, hollow, but incredibly strong, not fragile, optimized. Its entire body was built for one thing: explosive launch. Instead of relying only on wings, it used a quadrupedal system. 4 limbs working together, generating power far beyond what birds can produce. Meaning, it could take off faster than predators could react. No long runway, no vulnerability window, just instant escape. And once in the air, it didn't waste energy, it didn't flap constantly. It used thermal currents, rising higher, gliding farther, traveling kilometers with almost no effort. This was efficiency at a level most animals never reach. Now step back, look at the full design: height to see everything, speed to strike instantly, intelligence to avoid unnecessary fights, mobility to disappear completely. That combination, that's what makes something dangerous, not strength, not speed, control. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. We might not even fully understand it. Some fossils suggest different sizes, different builds. Some researchers believe what we call this creature today might actually be multiple similar species, combined, reconstructed, estimated, meaning the version we imagine might not even be the most extreme one that existed. Now let that sink in. Even our best guess version is already operating at the edge of what's possible. Imagine being there, no buildings, no shelter, just open land, and something above you, circling, watching, not rushing, not making a sound, just waiting. Imagine realizing you were never being chased, you were being watched, and it only moved when escape was impossible. Because the most dangerous predators aren't the ones that chase, they're the ones that don't need to. This creature didn't fight for dominance, it didn't need to prove anything. It had already solved the equation. If something stronger appeared, it left. If something weaker appeared, it ended it instantly. No wasted energy, no unnecessary risk, just perfect execution. And that's what makes it terrifying. Not just what it could do, but what it didn't have to do. In a world full of monsters, this wasn't the strongest. It wasn't the fastest, but it might have been the most untouchable. And if something like this existed once, perfectly optimized, perfectly efficient, then it raises a bigger question. How many other creatures lived like this? Not louder, not bigger, but smarter, better designed, more unfair. Because the past wasn't just filled with giants, it was filled with systems that worked. Predators that didn't just survive, they dominated without trying. And somewhere in that ancient squinty, there was a creature that looked like a giraffe, moved like a hunter, and escaped like a ghost. And the moment you saw its shadow, it had already decided. If you want to see more creatures that break reality like this, stay ready, because the next one might be even more impossible.